You want answers, you want purpose, you want direction. And so, like so many, you look outward, to the world, to mentors, to systems. You analyze, measure, chase, believing the more you learn, the more you will know who you are. But what if I told you that clarity doesn't come from accumulation? It comes from reduction, from silence, from within. It emerges not through the noise of validation, but from the stillness that lives beneath the layers you've built to protect yourself from pain, rejection, and truth. When you begin to peel those layers away, when you dare to remove the armor you thought you needed, what you'll find is not a hollow emptiness, but the very core of your being that has waited patiently to be remembered. That remembering is the beginning of wisdom, and wisdom is not the addition of more. It's the removal of illusion, the letting go of all that you are not, so that you can finally see who you truly are. This process is not quick, nor is it painless, but it is essential to truly live. There's a whisper in you that you have ignored, a faint, familiar voice that once sang loud when you were a child, but the world drowned it out, expectations replaced it, rules replaced it, the noise of survival replaced it, and now you live from your mind, not from your heart. You construct your life around logic, strategy, and safety, but the spark, the life, lives elsewhere. It lives in the gut feeling you suppress, the dreams you abandoned, the tears you never allowed to fall. That whisper is not gone, it is simply buried. It is the part of you untouched by the world, unspoiled by the crowd, still intact, and whole beneath all the noise and chaos you've mistaken for who you are. And in quiet moments, before sleep, during solitude, or in the stillness of heartbreak, it tries to reach you. Its voice is gentle, but it grows louder each time you honor it. And each time you ignore it, something inside you grows heavier until one day the weight becomes unbearable and you can no longer pretend. But the heart never forgets. It waits. It waits in the quiet moments between distractions, in the ache behind your laughter, in the heaviness you carry at night. It doesn't force itself into your awareness, because the heart doesn't need to be loud to be true. It simply is. And when all else fails, when your mind runs out of plans, when your ambition grows tired, when the people you tried to impress disappear, there it is, steady, unchanging, calling you back home. It does not demand perfection. It does not need your success. It only asks you to be real, to be honest, to be willing to meet yourself in the deepest, most sacred place within. It invites you not to become someone, but to unbecome everything that isn't truly you. And in that process, you discover something extraordinary: peace. Not the peace that comes from escaping life, but the peace that comes from finally living it as yourself. In this peace, you are no longer chasing worth. You remember that you always had it. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart, not when you impress others. Not when you collect titles, not when the world finally sees your worth. No, clarity is born the moment you see yourself clearly, flaws, fears, and all. This kind of vision is not about the future, it is about the present. It's about the courage to stop running, the willingness to feel, the ability to sit with your pain without needing to fix it. And in that raw, unfiltered space, what once looked like confusion becomes a map. What once felt like failure becomes guidance. What once terrified you becomes your teacher, because the heart speaks in truths your mind cannot calculate. And once you hear its language, the world outside no longer defines your reality, it only reflects it. You begin to see with new eyes, not because the world has changed, but because you have. What do you run from? The chaos? The pain? The shame? What if that chaos is not your enemy, but your map? What if the pain is not there to punish you, but to awaken you? You have been taught to escape discomfort, to numb it, to fear it. But discomfort is the signal that you're alive. It's the soul's way of saying, look here, this matters. Every ache, every crack, every scar you carry is a doorway into greater awareness. You do not become wise by avoiding pain. You become wise by understanding it, by allowing it to shape you without defining you, by letting it carve you into someone deeper, more honest, more awake. Pain is not your punishment. It is your purification. It is the forge in which your authenticity is formed. And through it, you remember what matters. Through it, you stop performing and start becoming. You begin to speak not to be heard, but to be true. You begin to act not for applause, but in alignment. You see, the problem is not confusion. The problem is your resistance to it. You've been taught that not knowing is weakness, that uncertainty is a flaw. But I say to you, uncertainty is sacred. It is the doorway to vision. Every soul must pass through it. Clarity does not come in the form of answers, but in the ability to sit with the questions. And when you stop demanding certainty, you make space for wisdom. When you stop trying to control life, you start to trust it. And in that trust, you rediscover a part of you that is untouched by fear, untouched by ego, untouched by the lies you've inherited about who you should be. In that space, the fog lifts, and what remains is not a neatly drawn roadmap, but an inner compass, quiet but unwavering, leading you not to where you think you should go, but to where you truly belong. There is no rush on this journey, for your heart has waited this long, and it will continue to wait for as long as it takes. People say, "I don't know what I want." But they do. They just don't trust it. It's not clarity they lack, it's courage, because when you truly look into your own heart, you cannot pretend anymore. You cannot lie to yourself. You cannot keep playing small. To look into your heart is to risk everything you've built for the sake of something more real, and that is terrifying. But it is also liberating, because once you choose truth, even if it burns, you are finally free. You no longer need to be anything other than who you are. You no longer fear being misunderstood, because you finally understood yourself. And in understanding yourself, you give others permission to do the same. Your clarity becomes contagious. Your peace becomes powerful. Your life becomes a light for those still lost in the dark. They will ask what you did, and all you will be able to say is, "I listened," and that will be enough, and the listening never ends. Because the heart does not speak just once. It speaks every day, in every moment, in every encounter. It speaks through intuition, through dreams, through the tension between who you are and who you're pretending to be. You will hear it in the quiet discomfort you feel around certain people. You will hear it in the joy that bursts forth when you are doing what you love. You will hear it in the sadness that wraps around you when you abandon your own needs. The heart is always speaking. The question is, are you willing to stop and listen, and not just listen, but act? To allow what you hear to guide your steps, even when it leads you down roads no one else understands. If you do this, if you honor the voice within, your life will not get easier, but it will become more true. And in that truth is freedom. Not the freedom from pain, but the freedom to live with it, to dance with it, to learn from it. You will begin to see suffering not as something to escape, but as something sacred. You will meet your own shadow, not with fear, but with reverence, because you will know that within the darkness lives the key to your light. You will stop trying to be good, and you will start trying to be real. You will understand that the soul doesn't want perfection, it wants presence, and presence changes everything. When you are truly present, you no longer live in reaction, you no longer need to defend, to prove, to chase. You simply are, fully, deeply, honestly. And that kind of being has power, the kind of power that cannot be taken away, because it comes from within. It is not granted by status or success. It is not given by others. It is claimed by you, for you, through you. And once you claim it, no one can take it from you. That is the gift of looking into your heart. That is the birth of true vision. So take the time, make the space, sit in the silence, allow yourself to remember. because everything you are searching for has been waiting inside you all along, and the only way out is in.